Yeah, just great team effort. Was pleased that we came out in the second half and got off to a fast start. Really happy to see our defense bow their neck down there in the tight red zone. Um, but just a great night. It was a lot of fun getting the first win under your belt. A lot of emotions early, but once the game kicked off, kind of settled into it. But I think there's a lot of things we got to get cleaned up from game one to game two, but always better to make those corrections after a win.
Matt, AJ had a single game record, 233 receiving yards. A lot of that came off of broken plays, just making a play. Just can you speak to his performance when he was able
He
to?
just he sparked us. He made a lot of big time plays, not only tough catches but then breaking tackles, and was very solid in the punt return game. But we've had a lot of good receivers around here. I think he broke Eddie Small's all time single game record. So that's a huge deal. We gave him a game ball after the game.
Coach, you're talking about corrections that you need to make heading into next week. What kind of specific corrections are you referring to?
Well, I just thought we could clean up the second half a little bit on defense. And then I thought early in the first half we settled for field goals in the tight red zone. Always want to try to get touchdowns. Not as efficient as I would like to be in the run game. Um, we got to look at some stuff there. But overall, pleased with the first game.
Matt, you talked about the emotions early in the day. What was today like for you?
Long early on. I was just wanting the game to get here, but very emotional. Coming through the Grove, uh, very emotional walking out on the field for the first time. But very special. I really appreciate Rebel Nation. They've made this a very easy transition and just really special. But I just want to make sure that's what I told the players in the locker room after the game. It's not about me. This is about us as a family and doing things together. Nobody cares who gets the credit. A blue collar mentality, and I just want to make sure that these kids have been through a lot, and that's the credit. The credit goes to them.
Coach, what did you see from Shea tonight? Some of the good, some of the bad.
Yeah, and I need to go watch the tape, but he threw for 400 and what did he throw for 429 yards. That's pretty good. He's still a sophomore, and he's only going to continue to get better and better. As always, in this offense, he has the opportunity to make a lot of decisions, but love to see him scram around and making plays, and that's who he is, and you want him to be able to do that. So, but we'll go back and watch the tape, see where we can improve. But for his first game, throwing for 429 yards, yeah, I think you got to be pleased with that.
Matt, you may have just answered this, but do you on some of those scramble plays? Do you obviously the schedule is going to get tougher as you go along? Do you worry about some of those scramble plays resulting in him getting hit maybe a little bit more than you want him to get hit later in the year?
No, yeah, I think you do worry about it, but that's what makes him special, and I don't think you can take that away from him. I think as he gets more experience, he'll learn when he can and can't do those things. But I think that comes with experience. But I don't think you want to try to harness that because that's his playmaking ability. That's what makes him unique, and I think he'll make a bunch of plays doing that.
Jalen Jones came in free safety, did some good things, and also had the kick return. I mean, it seemed like he acclimated himself pretty well.
No, he did. I saw we had a scrimmage. I think I told y'all one, and he hit a kickoff return. He hit it. He wasn't even in the rotation when he hit that kickoff return. I was like, man, he's different. And the last game I saw him in high school, he did the same thing. So he's got a knack for that. And I thought that was maybe that was a big momentum play in the game. And anytime that you can get a touchdown on special teams, a lot of credit goes to Coach Derek Nix. He's in charge of that kickoff return team, and they work really hard. And you got DK Metcalf out there blocking on the front line, and there's a lot of guys on there that did a great job. So, but very happy for Jalen.
You went to second and third teamers on defense early and often. Was that the plan going in, just to see who could perform?
Yeah, I think so. I think you saw him maybe a little bit more in the second half, but we did want to rotate some guys early on to keep those guys fresh for sure.
You mentioned the defense in the red zone. It looked like they got some good penetration down towards the goal line, especially Josiah on 2 plays. What did you think of how they played tonight?
No, I thought Josiah had a great fall camp, and you felt good about him, making some plays. But like I said earlier, I was really really pleased when they got down there. The defense stiffened up and held them to a field goal twice, and that I think that's improvement. I think we can build on that.
The run defense as a whole, Matt, obviously was a real struggle last year. They go for 170 tonight. Just what did you think about that? What did you think about the tackling specifically?
I thought we had a chance to maybe tackle, get him down the backfield a couple times, and then we didn't wrap up a couple times. I think maybe that was the last week we took off the pass, try to get their legs back a little bit, so maybe a little bit sloppy there. So we need to clean up where we wrap up. But I think that's one of the things that we can improve from game 1 to game 2 is just wrapping up and tackling. I just saw him briefly in the office, but I haven't had a chance to talk to him at length. No. Sure, my dad was my hero. I grew up with his helmet in my den and a picture of him on my wall. He taught me and Tom the value of work ethic, and not only did he teach us that, he did it with the way that he acted. He went to work every day and had such a good work ethic, and he was my hero and a great example.